Welcome everyone to our CSF panel with our fellow CSF seniors. If everyone could introduce themselves real quick. I'm Simer Bal.
I'm Sutton.
I'm Rohith Pydi.
I'm Esser.
I'm Haar.
I'm Quynh Gedney.
Awesome. And we're just going to answer the questions you guys sent over the course of this week to hopefully help you guys with your high school experiences. And we're going to start with high school/college advice. So the first question is, what should a junior plan to accomplish during their year in terms of ACT, SAT, extracurriculars, and etc.? So that's open to whoever wants to start.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like most colleges aren't even taking the SAT anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, so I think that with the current changes for at least the UCs and other colleges, SATs and standardized tests aren't going to be as valued. I mean, it's still a good thing to prepare for them, so don't just ignore about them. But yeah, I think for extracurricular is just pursuing whatever you want to, make sure you got a wide variety of extracurriculars and you should be good.
I think it's an important year to work on leadership roles. So if you've been involved in clubs, it's a good time to try to step up so that by the time you do apply to colleges, it'll show that you already are in leadership positions.
I would say, in terms of, as the others said, the standardized tests are no longer really required, but, if you would like to take them, don't feel that you have to take them multiple times. If you get, a score that you're happy with, you can be happy with that and submit it or not submit it. You don't have to just take those tests until you get a specific score. It's whatever you think. If you had a really bad day, sure, retake it. But if you think, that's going to be what it's going to be, don't worry about it. And then for extracurriculars, I would say have experiences that are meaningful to you. So something you can write about. The clubs are good, and it's nice to be involved on campus in many ways. But, really, as it was said, something that's, meaningful to you, because then you can write about that for your essays. You have something to say, this is what I stand for. This is who I am. See what I've done.
That's really good advice. In terms of standardized tests, I don't know the changes for next year and stuff, but definitely I would say if you are going to take a standardized test, try to do at least one junior year, get them in earlier. I kind of procrastinated and COVID hit and I didn't end up getting one in. So the earlier the better, I think. It gives you time if you do badly to retake. So definitely one junior year.
Yeah, like everyone else said, I think junior year is really the year where you think ahead kind of to your future college-wise. Where do you want to go? I think a lot of what people do junior year is based upon their passions and how they can further those passions wherever they go in life, in college, or what their major is. So definitely, like everyone else said, don't just do extracurriculars because you want it on the college app. If you don't actually care about a club or if you aren't invested in what you're doing, it's not going to go through. When you're writing a story about it and it just, I did this or I did this on your college apps, they can see right through that. Of course, yeah, you did a lot, but if there's no passion or true reason behind it, I don't think it's worth it. And in regards to standardized tests, like everyone else said, there's a lot of unknown right now, but like Ben mentioned, I think it's better to get a head start. Depends on what colleges you're applying to. Some are just going test blind from now on, and others are returning back to taking SAT and ACT. So make sure you do your research and know what colleges are taking them and which are not.
And just to add on, make sure that it's not just junior year that you're doing this stuff. Make sure that if you're a freshman or if you're a sophomore, you're still doing extracurriculars. It's really helpful, especially in essays, I know we all can relate to this, of having experiences that last multi-years. So having that long exposure to those is really helpful. So make sure you start getting into them earlier.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Second question, Car, you want to ask?
Wait, I have one thing. If you're applying to competitive colleges, make sure you take subject tests too.
Oh yeah, in regards to subject tests, I know there's a lot about unknown about that too, but I think subject tests, especially if you don't do good on an AP test, say, I don't know, you're taking AP Chem, you failed the test, they have like chemistry subject tests or math 2 subject tests. Those kind of make up in a sense for those AP tests if you do extremely well on those. So definitely like study for those. Again, it's all about research with whatever school you're applying to. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Quynh.
Okay, I'll move on to our second question. How do you manage your time between AP classes and other responsibilities?
So, I mean, it's, sorry, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, it's hard. So, yeah, AP classes do take a lot of time, but that's not to like, say that they're bad. I think that if you sort of like the class, then you'll get through it easily. And it's a lot of just time management and just seeing where you can like what activities you can do.
Okay, literally everyone says don't procrastinate, and like it works, so sorry.
Okay.
Other thing is, like, of course, don't procrastinate, but it's also really important. I've learned you really have to prioritize. And you have to come to terms with you may not get something done. And it just happens. Or you may have to skip a sports practice. And it seems like the end of the world now. But if it's not as important as all the other things you need to get done, it's just something that you need to learn to accept sometimes. Because sometimes you may have 1,000 assignments for your AP classes and a sports practice, and you say, okay, I may not be able to go today, and you just have to prioritize one or the other. And sometimes it's a difficult decision, but you just have to get used to making them sometimes.
Yeah, like Carly said, especially with AP classes, you know, AP students are generally super high achieving, you know, they want to do the best and everything, get those A grades, get 100% on every assignment. But you have to realize that you can't get, it's physically impossible to get an A+ on every single assignment. So definitely know, like, if you got a huge test coming up next week, and you know you haven't studied for it, I don't know, AP physics test, and then you have a few math assignments that you also really want to look into, but you can't spend as much time on, definitely study for that test. As AP students, you'll learn as the time goes on. You can still do good in all classes. It's just sometimes you can't spend as much time as you'd like. And you definitely learn to become more time efficient because you still want to have a life outside of your AP classes.
I would say with my experience being a leader in the marching band, which is kind of unique amongst this group, doing that and AP classes has been a lot of time into school and extracurricular activities, and it just takes determination and commitment to say, I'm going to do what I have to do to get this done. So whether that's go to school, then go to rehearsal, then come home, eat dinner, do homework, go to sleep, wake up, do it again. That kind of becomes your routine. And even though, hearing that doesn't sound very fun, it's like, well, you're not, hanging out, you're not relaxing. But it's just how it kind of goes, and you get used to it, and you can still have fun. You can talk with your friends during school, you can hang out during rehearsal, and homework is just, if you like your classes, hopefully it's not the most boring thing ever. And then you also learn to cut out things you don't need. So say if you want to listen to something like music or watch a video during your homework, maybe think about that and consider, do I have the time for that? Because whether you think it or not, you probably will be slowing down because of you're paying attention to more than just your work. So then we need to, and it's just prioritization. What do you want to do more? Do you want to get done sooner, or do you want to listen to something while you do the assignment? And generally, if you're going up against that barrier of, hey, I need to go to sleep, you want to do it sooner.
Yeah, I would agree that I think like multitasking in general is kind of bad, like to just focus on one thing at once. Like, I guess I'm totally guilty of it, but to focus on one thing at once is just more efficient and you'll remember it better. But yeah.
Rohith, Quynh, do you guys want to add anything?
No, I just yeah, just whatever Jared and Ben and everyone else said.
All right.
Jared's a beast. Jared gets so much stuff done, you don't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
And it takes a lot of consideration what you need to do first too. It's just, hey, what's due when? And it's like, okay, well, I can do this short assignment and get it out of the way. Or, hey, I have this bigger thing due, so I need to do that even if I'd rather do something else.
Yeah,
also,
and if oops, sorry, go ahead.
It also can help if you like write down stuff, either it's like on your phone or like on the agenda. I try to do it a lot of times, but I mean I kind of fail at it too. But I do realize that like just writing it down and then marking it down, like marking it as done, but at the end of it, it gives you that like, sort of satisfaction.
Sometimes I even put like eat lunch on my planner, and that might sound so dumb, but when you have a bunch of stuff to do and you just get eat lunch checked off, I don't know, it just gives me a sense of satisfaction, like, hey, I'm doing stuff. Some days I feel so lazy, but you're still moving, you're still grooving, so it's okay.
I did that too. I write stuff I've already done that I can just cross it off.
Yeah, it feels good though. You really feel good. Yeah, so we're gonna move on to the next question. Are there any other clubs that can make someone stand out on their college application?
I wouldn't join a club just to stand out. Join a club that you'll like somewhat enjoy.
Yeah.
But I would say if there's any clubs or extracurriculars in general that are specific to your major, that means so much more than like if you want to go into chemistry, join the chemistry club, or do a chemistry extracurricular. They're just so much more meaningful than something that's unrelated, I would say.
And also, if you're truly passionate about something and there's not a club that's on the school campus as of yet, you don't be afraid to just make one. Like I know Simer and Carly both created their own club, and a lot of people have also created their own club. So like, don't be afraid to make the decision to start up a club. I know that the high school would love to have more clubs on campus.
Yeah, definitely. Like Ben said, especially if, yeah, like he said, whatever major is, it just makes you look so much more passionate about what you're doing. They know that, the passion is there. You've been working through this throughout your high school career. And like Rohith touched upon, Carly and I made a mental health club at school because we thought that was something that was lacking and wasn't talked about enough. And we really just wanted to create a positive environment. So we got the paperwork done. It's not that hard. You just need like 10 members to start up a club, and we made one. So definitely follow your passions with clubs. Don't do it for the, wow, look at how good my college application looks.
I'd also like to adding on to kind of what Ben said about your major, also your extracurriculars. So if you're volunteering at like a hospital, then like join like the Medical Professionals of the Future Club, something that relates so it all can kind of connect, so that it proves that you're not doing it just to join a club, but it relates to something that you're actually interested in and doing outside of school.
I would just say, as has been said, it's about the passions and it's about your experience. And can you talk about it? So maybe starting your own club is something great to talk about on an essay, It's like, hey, look at me, look at what I'll bring to your campus. And or joining a small club or becoming a leader. And even all these things, it's not something easy, but that's not what the colleges and universities look for. They look for things that you've done that are special to you, and therefore, my mind goes to robotics club. If you're working with just a couple other people on this robot and you're trying to make it work for whatever even simple task, that is a great experience to talk about because it's teamwork and it's your passion. And, that's what they want to see is you can work well with other people on their campus and succeed because you like what you do.
Does anybody else want to say anything before I move on to the next question? Okay. How did you choose the colleges you applied to, and did you visit these colleges?
What I did is I knew I wanted to stay in California, so I just looked up schools that were good in California. And that was about it. I did visit them because my sister visited colleges. I wasn't able to because of COVID, but I had been there before, so that helped, I guess.
Yeah, I think if you have an older sibling who's in college, they have a good idea of what colleges you should be applying to. I think that if you talk to them or just family friends who are maybe older than you or have a kid in college might be helpful. And yeah, just look for a college that really fits your identity. Make sure that they have that community that you want, that they allow you to pursue your own passions, and make sure it's it just provides the resources for you to do whatever you want to really.
Yeah, and touching upon what Rohith said, if you don't have an older sibling who's been to college, the internet source of all information, right? Literally search up, what colleges rank top in your interested major or your interested career, because there's a lot of colleges that are known for one major or one field. So definitely do your research, and it's okay if you don't know. Junior year, you shouldn't have to oh my gosh, I know exactly where I'm applying. But definitely, yeah, weather is a big thing for me. I knew I wanted to stay in California too, because I don't think I can handle snow all the time. Also family. My family lives in Cali, so I want to stay in Cali. But definitely see your interests. IVs, as prestigious as they sound, if that's truly where your interest lies, go for it. But if you're looking for a smaller college where you get more one-on-one interactions with professors, you can build that outreach, then research smaller colleges. So yeah.
Also, online forums such as Reddit or College Confidential are really helpful. So if you want to search up for what other people have been saying, that's a good resource.
Yeah, kind of like Simer said about your major, seeing we have good programs. I myself, I had no idea what I wanted to major in, but I knew I wanted to go into the sciences. So I looked at schools that had good science programs. And then also just everyone was talking about the feel of the campus. I knew I wanted a big school with sports and a football program where I can really meet a lot of new people. So you just really have to see what do you think you'll be happy in? Will you be happy in a small community where you can meet with smaller groups and have maybe smaller classes? Or do you want that kind of bigger school campus feeling? That was also important for me. And also, I looked for schools that gave financial aid for merit scholarships, because that was something big for me, especially if I want to go get a PhD or into medical school. I wanted to make sure that I could afford it by getting a merit scholarship for my bachelor's. So if you want to look ahead, that's always a good option to try to plan.
Would say a great resource is Naviance. We have it. You can use it. You'll use it probably more than you think you want to. Given it links with your Common App, and you do letters of recommendation through there. So that it's a great place to look up all those stats on where is it, how big is it, what are people kind of saying about it, what programs is it good in, and then really just kind of what you think, what you've heard of. I think everyone in California knows about the UC system. And then what your parents or relatives or just advice you get from other people who might be more knowledgeable about your college search and what they say, and they're like, oh hey, I heard about this place one time, and you can look it up, and if it doesn't suit you, it doesn't suit you. You don't have to keep it on the list, but it's just a great way to go out and explore and see what might fit you best.
Yeah,
if that's what you want.
Yeah, and just to quickly add, Mrs. Knight is our college and career center advisor at Moorpark High School. She is a great resource. She's always open to helping students. She's always so excited to help students. So if you ever have any college-related questions or anything of that sort, just email her or talk to her at the library. I'm sure she'll be more than happy to help. And then I think, sorry guys, I think I'm gonna start doing shorter answers because we still have to get through all the AP classes. But if you could do a 1 or 2 sentence answer to what is some advice you have on how to apply to colleges?
Don't procrastinate. I think that's one of the biggest ones. I'm I myself did procrastinate, and trust me, you don't want to do it. Yeah, it was a lot of pain, but yeah. So I think that just getting started and just completing them before way before the application doesn't hurt you in any. If anything, it'll just help you. So yeah.
Yeah, just to quickly add on to Rohith, start in the summer. After junior year, for UCs, if you come up with your ideas in summer, you don't have to write the essays right then and there. Enjoy yourself. Come up with the ideas then. Other colleges also start with the ideas a few months before. As you go, keep writing the essays. It'll come to you. It's okay. It's a lot of work. It takes time, though. You need time. I can say from personal experience, too, you don't want to be crying at 12 a.m. when you have an app due in 1 or 2 days because you can't think of an essay to write about. So yeah, don't procrastinate at all.
I would say two things. One is, yeah, start thinking about essay topics early. So, like, look up the UC personal insight questions. I think they stay the same like almost every year. So just
Yeah.
look at them, plan them out. Think about 4 different essays you can write or more and pick the best ones. And then also, Rohith touched on this earlier, but stuff like online forums, like there's a subreddit, if you know what that is on Reddit, called Applying to College or whatever. And they have a lot of good stuff. Like people are just asking questions, and it's good to like just hear what other people are saying. And like, yeah, it's a community. It'll help you.
I'd also say if you can, try to use an essay for multiple things because a lot of schools have supplemental essays and they're very similar questions sometimes. So if you can keep the basic structure of your with like an original essay and you could just adapt it to the question, it makes it so much easier.
One other thing is just make sure you have like safeties in target and reach schools, and make sure you have like an appropriate amount of each. Don't like apply to like so many colleges that you're writing like 30 something essays.
Also, Moorpark College is a great safety. Like, it's one of the best colleges or community colleges in the country, and so that's always one you can fall back on.
If you get into Moorpark College and you do the honors program, I know just like transferring to UCLA, you have like an 80% something chance of getting accepted. So Moorpark College, great way to go.
I would just say tell your story and know what the college wants. So tell your story is, thinking about all the prompts and coming up with experiences you can talk about. And then know what the college wants is doing a little research, going on their website, seeing, their trying to think of like mission statement, I think. But those kinds of things, those overarching goals of the college or university that they say, we want to train students to be like this, or, this is what we want. They're telling you what they want. So if you don't write about how you match those things, you're kind of missing an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to transition into high school classes, APs, honors, the goods, the bads, the in-betweens, and we're gonna try to keep it shorter because we only have around 15 minutes or so, but yeah, we're gonna try to get through all of you guys' questions.
Okay, so the first question, are AP classes worth the time, energy, and money?
I would say yes. I know someone who's like a freshman in college, but she's technically a junior because she has so many credits.
And also, if you like don't like slow class, I know like CP classes sometimes go pretty slow. So if you feel like that you would want a fast-paced class, AP classes are fast-paced, and they'll definitely keep you on your toes. So I think that if you're passionate for that like class and you're like interested in learning, like go for it.
I especially think if you know that the college you want to go to or the colleges you want to go to, you're applying to, take AP credits. It's an amazing opportunity if you either want to, like Quynh said, you want to be like a junior your freshman year, or if you want to double major, it's a great way to get credits out of the way.
I would say for those on the fence, if you care about a subject, you should probably take the AP class because it shows, hey, I care about this. As well as, if you'd like to raise your GPA, they can provide a grade bump if you do well. And it's still about time management and saying, you know, what do I think I will be successful in? And I would say in that regard, don't, you know, sell yourself short. If you think you can do something, go for it, and just be prepared to have to put in the time commitment and all the effort to make it happen once you're, you know, getting into around AP test season and you have to deal with, oh gosh, I have a bunch of work to do. I can't do much else.
Ben, do you want to add anything?
No, I guess if you want to graduate early from college, you know, it's definitely a good option. Grade bump. Problem is it costs a lot of money, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think it's definitely circumstantial. If you already know what type of college you want to go to, if you're looking for those top reach schools and you know you have the potential and you know you can work your butt off in high school, then go for it by all means. All those top Ivies, whatever UCs, are looking for people who are high achieving students who take AP courses, go out of their way to show interest. But if you know you want to go to a local community college that doesn't require APs, and which is totally okay and great, then if you don't want to stress yourself out too much in high school, then I don't think it's necessary, but it all comes to circumstances. And then moving on to the next question, which kind of ties into that, on a specific AP class. So what is AP biology like, and is it advisable to take it as a senior? I think,
So
did we all take bio? Everyone except Quynh. Quynh, did you take bio? Okay.
No, I did physics.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
So yeah, I took bio in 10th grade. I mean, it wasn't like, it was a hard class. I won't say it's easy. There's a lot of work. I know, like, I personally had to read a lot of the textbook to understand. I go over what Miss Lindquist had given us, and like, I think just all the labs I need to make sure I like had a good understanding of them. But I mean, for me, I was already passionate for like science and medicine and like biology, so I thought that it was a fun class in a sense that I was learning about what I actually like to learn about. So yeah, wait, what was the second question?
Is it advisable to take it as a senior?
So if you're a senior, yeah, kind of what Richard was nodding. Probably not. It's a lot of work, and I don't know if it's like just because this year or if it's like senioritis, but I know personally I don't have too much motivation to work, and so I couldn't really imagine doing AB Bio and doing all that work as like a senior right now.
Yeah, and colleges usually look at your sophomore year and your junior year the most. So I don't really see a point unless you're super interested in biology and you never got the chance to take it before, in taking it as a senior, because like Rod said, I personally have zero motivation right now. Second semester, you just feel like chilling out, doing nothing. But AP Bio is definitely a hard class. If you're taking it, be prepared to do a lot of memorization. But I like bio, so I enjoyed it.
I will say it also depends what you're going to major in college, because like my cousin, she majored in biology and she said the class itself, AP Bio, just helped her in her biology classes. So if you just genuinely want to learn biology and you think it's interesting and you're going to have it as a major, even if it's not that important for like college admissions, it's going to be important just so you learn the information before you get to college level biology classes.
Yeah, obviously, ton of work. Definitely one of the most worked out of any AP class you can take at Moorpark. But for me, it's what made me realize that I like biology and I like science in general. So I would recommend.
When I took it, I enjoyed it. I also am interested in the sciences, as many other people have said. I thought it was a good time. Had some fun with friends doing labs and stuff. Was a lot of work. I was also taking AP Euro at the time, so I would say that was more work. So I'm not sure if I would agree with AP Bio as much work as that. But yeah, it was still a good amount. Do remember semi-permeable phospholipid bilayer. That's the one thing you gotta remember.
Classic.
In terms of taking it senior year, it kind of depends on where you are in your track for science, because I took it sophomore year, and then what you theoretically could do is, take 2 chemistry classes, and go by, the school's requirements to take AP Chem your senior year. I kind of went around that, took AP Chem junior year, and now, because I couldn't take an AP Physics class this year, I'm actually at Moorpark College for just a 6th period class that I can take, which is nice. But if I hadn't taken bio, I would either be probably taking bio this year, or I would just be continuing physics, or things like that. So I think it depends on what you've done so far, but it can be useful if you want to fill the spot in grade bump and all those other things about AP classes we mentioned.
Okay, so then we'll move on to the next question. Is AP Biology or AP Euro a better class to take as a sophomore?
Jared, go.
I think both.
Yeah, I think Euro took both.
They're fun.
Yeah, I don't know if it depends on how much you can handle. I could not handle 2 AP sophomore year. Biology was enough for me, more than enough. Yeah, depends on how much you can handle.
I think it also depends on your interest. If you're more of a history person, then the AP Euro work won't be as hard for you. If you're more of a sciencey person, then AP Biology won't seem as much as work to you. So just kind of depends what you're more interested in, I feel like.
Yeah, not everyone can be Jared. I would just say pick if you're like into history and stuff like that. Euro, obviously, science, math. I do bio.
Yeah.
Take AP.
Sorry, go ahead, Quynh.
Oh, you can also take AP Physics as a sophomore. Most people
Don't do that. Don't do that. Just kidding.
less work than both of the other 2.
It is definitely less work.
Better class.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna combine a few questions now since we have like 10 minutes left. But AP Lit, we got a few questions asking, would you recommend AP Lit or English CP for senior year, along with like, how does AP Lit compare to AP Ling? So real quick, to start off, I would just say, I just complain a lot about AP Lit. It's not as bad as every senior makes it seem. In senior year, especially if you're not taking a lot of hard classes, I think it's fine. Compared to AP Lang, it's more work. So be prepared for that.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Miss Gusty is a good teacher, so like kind of seems scary on the outside, but I mean, once you get to know her, she's pretty good, and like her workload isn't like horrible. I've had work, so yeah, I think that taking AP Lit you could just do it. It's not bad.
Yeah, and I feel like the work is also, you normally get a lot of time because they're project-based or reading-based. So it's not like you're getting like homework assignments every night. It's like read 100 pages and then you have like a discussion after a week. So it's a lot of like projects and work that you have time for. So if you're good with time management, then it's really not big of a workload.
Of course, we're in different circumstances too, because we're taking AP Lit in online COVID times. So we don't have the real experience of in class, how many projects we're given or whatnot, but just from that experience, yeah.
I'd say if you don't like literature at all and you're not interested in it and you want a little more extra time, AP Lit is definitely one. Like if you were taking all the AP classes before, it's one where you can take CP, but if you're actually interested a little bit, then yeah, I do it.
The workload and structure.
It's a lot of reading.
Go ahead.
I was just saying it's a lot of reading, so maybe if you don't like reading, like maybe don't take it.
Just the workload and structure of the class are definitely different than Lang. You approach things from different angles. But it's not a bad time, and if you want to be a high achieving student, I think this goes back to the advantages of AP that we talked about before. So if you like the sounds of that, then go for it. But if you're just gonna you're not worried and you're not going to a school that's going to say, maybe you should have taken some more rigorous classes senior year, then I suppose you would be fine.
Okay, so we'll move on to our next question now. This is another one about classes. So would you guys rather take Calc AB or Calc BC? And what are the key differences you've seen between the two classes?
Take BC.
BC. I think we all took BC here, so
Okay, but we're biased because we all took BC.
yeah. So I mean, I think I was saying it before, but like, if you like a fast-paced class, BC is for you. But I know. Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, I think some people in this panel are just naturally talented in, certain subjects. I was not one of those people. Calc BC was definitely one of the hardest classes that I've ever taken. It was really hard for me to comprehend some subjects. It was super fast. You have tests like every 2 to 3 weeks, I think. But if you're ready for the grind and you can get to work, do it, then go for it. I manage, so yeah.
Yeah, I have the same view as Simer. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like that class was really hard for me. Like, I've had to work in math, but that class made me work like every day for like a couple hours to study for tests. And normally I'm the type of person that'll study maybe like the night before a test or 2 nights before. I had to study starting the week before in that class. So you really just have to learn what works for you, but it is a lot of work, and you actually have to like do all the homework and be like attentive to it and not just kind of like breeze by. Like, you actually have to like put intention in it.
Yeah, and AB is taught currently by Mrs. Silva. She's a great teacher. We have her for stats if you're taking AP stats this year. But AB is like, I think it's like half the coursework of BC. So, and you have the same amount of time. So it's a lot slower, and you get done a lot sooner and start reviewing sooner, as far as I'm aware, which for those who might, generally struggle in math, or maybe, don't struggle, but it kind of takes some time. You're maybe not really behind other people, but you're about, average middle of the pack, maybe. That might, just be the easier class for you. But if you think you can do BC, it's more valuable because generally you'll get a sub-score for AB, and it's as if you took the AB test and the BC test all in one. And so if you don't score too well on the BC part, at least you have the AB sub-score, and you can still do well and get credit for that.
Definitely. And so another math related question. Someone asked, would you recommend taking CP stats junior year and then AP stats senior year, or going straight to AP stats in junior year? Basically, what are your thoughts about AP stats along with that, AP stats or dual enrollment, the college class with Mrs. Silva?
So I'm in the normal full year length stats class with Silva, and I think that you might not need to do CP stats before. I remember a lot of the information being similar to what we learned in like math 2 honors, like 9th grade and 10th grade math. So I think that as long as you have a good understanding in those classes, you should be fine for AP stats.
I definitely agree with that. I'm not in the dual enrollment class, but I'm in a dual enrollment with chemistry. I would definitely recommend doing Moorpark College stuff in general. It's honestly, like, my classes are a lot less work at Moorpark College than here. And I know it looks good on college applications. So yeah, you could do it with stats, or you could do it with like chemistry, which is what I'm doing it with.
Yeah, I took dual enrollment stats, and it was with Silva, and she's like an angel, so you should definitely take it. It's really easy. She like gives extra credit like on every test. It's wonderful.
Yeah, Silva makes AP stats pretty easy in general if you've never done stats before. She's super nice. It's super smooth and relaxing, honestly.
The best, literally the best. So you'll have a great time there.
I wouldn't be afraid of taking AP before CP, or just not taking CP, because you don't need it with how she structures the class. At least this year, there's time to do work, and a whole lot of time to do questions. So it's not too bad to just say, hey, I'm not too sure about this concept. Can we go over it again? And then the concepts, once you get them, aren't too hard to to keep in your head, and you get to keep your calculator. So
Yeah, I would just say look at how many math credits you need, because the worst situation is if you end up taking AP Stats junior year and then you need to take another math your senior year, and then you have to maybe do CP Stats. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. So make sure you keep in touch with your counselor, know what credits you need, what credits you have. And yeah, and it is time to wrap up, but we hope these questions help you guys in some way. We didn't get to all of them, but if you have any other questions, please feel free to DM us on Instagram or email me or ask us at our next meeting. We'd love to help. And thank you to these wonderful people for joining us at our senior panel today. These are the most high achieving students at Moorpark High School.